So I just released a video breaking down every single free Switch 2 upgrade available right now. But of course, the second it goes live, a new one drops. And this time, it's a big one, Skyrim. So today, we're diving into what's changed, the visuals, the frame rate, new Switch 2 features, handheld play, and finally, whether this upgrade delivers the version that I personally wanted back in 2017. Let's get into it. Before we do get to the improvements then, if this helps you out today, do me a favour, subscribe, helps out the channel a huge amount. Now, a super quick recap. It's Skyrim. You already know it, but dragons, shouting people off cliffs, stealing cheese wheels, it's the classic. With the Anniversary Edition, it's the most complete version yet. All 3 expansions baked in, as well as fishing, survival mode, and a huge chunk of curated Creation Club content that adds new quests, weapons, spells. It's basically more of everything. But let's start with visuals. First off, God knows where my save file is. It's been years since I played Skyrim, so we're starting again from the very beginning, cart ride and all. But straight away, you feel the upgrade. Skyrim has always been a beautiful game in spirit, but the original Switch release, it had to make some tough compromises. Softer textures, flatter lighting, and far-off scenery turning into kind of a green-brown blur. On Switch 2, there's breathing room again. Resolution sees a massive jump, and it instantly sharpens the look. Armor plates have crisp edges, stone walls show tiny cracks, and those intricate engraved details on gear and relics, it finally stands out instead of smearing into one colour. Materials actually look like what they're supposed to be. Metal reflects, cloth has texture, and carved stone has that gritty, lived-in feel. Out in the wild, draw distance has been pushed further. Mountains keep their shape, forests, they look thicker, and distant ruins actually look like ruins instead of silhouettes. And the aliasing, a huge improvement. Sunlight isn't causing trees and rooftops to shimmer anymore, and those tiny snowy branches, they stay clean instead of dissolving into noise. But the most striking improvement in this Switch 2 build, lighting. Sunlight here has more depth, shadows cling to surfaces instead of almost floating at times. And the things like the rivers, the lakes, it's all catching reflections. It's really noticeable immediately. The caves and crypts at the immediate beginning of the game, they feel moodier. The torchlight's bouncing just that little bit more impressively. And then smoke and mist, it's really hanging in the air, adding atmosphere. It finally feels like the world has proper volume, not just brightness. Now, it's still very much the Skyrim we know, jank and all, but with a lot more clarity and richness in how it really presents itself. So yeah, I think it's a visual upgrade that is actually strong enough to make me seriously consider a full replay. Here though is where things get a little deflating. It's still 30 FPS. Smooth, consistent, better than ever, but kept all the same. And that's honestly my one complaint with this upgrade. The Switch 2 hardware absolutely seems capable of running Skyrim at 60, especially at this visual level, and that would have elevated the entire experience. Now I did double check the settings, no performance options, no toggles, no high frame rate mode. What you see is what you get. It's stable, it's clean, but it's also not perfect as well. Now realistically, I've run on a decent little jaunt across this world, and I wouldn't say I've seen real drops, but I've seen stutters, and I've definitely seen fluctuations down to around 29 FPS. And you do kind of, I guess, feel them. Now, it's better than the Switch 1, no question about that. The fluctuations are definitely a little bit more aggressive and more frequent there, but it's not quite what I was hoping for. You know, I was actually expecting 60, instead I got 30, and it's not locked. So basically, it's decent performance so far. I won't question that. It feels nice to play, but it's not the leap that I was hoping for. In better news though, load times are drastically reduced. Even here in the opening hour, before you're bouncing between cities, dungeons, shops, fast travel, it's already around a quarter, the very most of waiting compared to Switch 1. I'm going to put one of the early loads on screen now, just so you can see the difference for yourself. But what that means is, once you progress deeper into the world, you know, bigger towns, busier areas, more transitions, those improvements should only become more noticeable. Now let's talk Switch 2 exclusives, and that is mouse aiming. Now, Skyrim's always had a bit of sluggishness in its inputs. That's on every platform. And on the Switch One, there was a noticeable delay that could make combat feel slightly unresponsive. That's still very much part of the game's DNA here. You know, that slight pause between moving the stick and seeing the camera react. If anything, honestly, for me, it felt like a touch more noticeable. Now, it's not game-breaking at all, and some of that is just how Skyrim was built. But if you are sensitive to input delay, you're gonna spot it. But mouse aiming goes a long way toward alleviating it. Even in the opening hour, aiming is smoother, tracking enemies feels easier, and lining things up just feels more natural. And once you do get your hands on a bow later, this is going to make a huge difference. You know, no more wrestling the stick just to hit anything. Of course, as well, motion controls still in place. But basically, it's not turning Skyrim into like some sort of perfect shooter or anything, but it gives handheld combat a little bit more precision. And yeah, I don't personally have the ideal setup for mouse controls, but for those that do, it's a great option. Finally, just quickly, let's touch on handheld mode. This is where the upgrade actually really clicks, in my opinion. On Switch 2 screen, Skyrim looks fantastic. The sharper textures and improved lighting, they hold up beautifully. And that rock-solid 30 FPS means the smaller screen size actually hides a lot of the trade-offs you'd notice on a TV. There's no extra handheld visual mode or anything like that, but the core upgrades all there, and they translate really nicely to portable. Now, if you like Skyrim handheld on Switch 1, this is an easy step up. Cleaner visuals, smoother movement, and yeah, another great way to lose hours in Skyrim. So this is nearly everything you'd want from a Switch 2 upgrade of Skyrim. Cleaner visuals, drastically reduced load times, and mouse controls that genuinely do improve how it plays. And do remember as well, if you already own the Anniversary Edition, the upgrade is free. If you're still on the base game, you're going to need to buy the Anniversary upgrade. This said though, it's not perfect. And why is that? Well, I can't help but wish Bethesda pushed it further. 60 FPS would have made this the definitive handheld Skyrim experience. Even give us 2 visual modes, you know, performance and quality. Now, as it stands, it is a decent upgrade. It's actually a fantastic way to return to the world, but it's just kind of shy of the dream version that I believe this hardware can deliver. So yeah, that's Skyrim. Will you be checking it out? Let me know in the comments. With that then, subscribe, helps out the channel a huge amount, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers all.